Hello and welcome to the Wire's discussion on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings. Yesterday, the Modi government received a good piece of news. India's ranking on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business survey for 2018 climbed a record 13 ranks, from 130 to 100.
30
ranks, yeah. They climbed up 30 ranks. And so for our viewers who are not familiar with what the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business survey is, basically every year the World Bank looks at 10 different metrics and basically examines how easy it is for an average firm to carry out a set of standardized tasks that any businesses have to do. So this comes as a particularly welcome piece of news for our government because last year India has only jumped one ranking on the same survey, and generally they seem very pleased. And yesterday Arun Jetli held a press conference to sort of applaud his government's performance on this. So today we have with us founding editor M.K. Venu of The Wire to talk about this. So, just generally, what is your perception? So, I mean, the economic narrative of the last 1 year has sort of been that, it's not been that great for businesses in India, but yesterday we've, the World Bank thinks India is doing okay.
Yeah, so my view is, the last 1 year, this is June to June, right? So, June 2016 to June 2017. This is the period for which the World Bank has given us a improvement by 30 places, 130 to 100. The most interesting aspect of this is that World Bank puts a little caveat, which I think is very important, and that is that they have not taken demonetization and its impact into account for this comparison. And the reason they give is because other countries did not have demonetization, so they had to do an apple-to-apple comparison. So having said that, my question is, going by those 10 parameters, whether it's ease of starting business, ease of getting electricity, ease of getting loans, ease of closing business, those technically on those parameters India has done well. But if you disregard demonetization in the Indian context, then you are ignoring the elephant in the room. And what did demonetization do? It disrupted businesses in the most profound manner. And we all know that post November until now there has been a negative credit flow. Bank credit was negative. In fact, small businesses had to go and deposit money into banks. So we had this strange situation where it was the other way around. So I don't know how that will figure in the ease of credit. Now, so this is my biggest puzzle. Well, if you agree with the strictly go by the World Bank parameters, the reason why we have improved so dramatically is, as per Sanjeev Sanyal, who is the principal economic advisor, is because we have greatly improved the ease of closing businesses.
Correct.
Now,
so this is the insolvency and bankruptcy code.
Yeah, the insolvency procedures, the bankruptcy code. Now, that I agree. I think Prime Minister Modi has made ease of closing businesses. He has dramatically improved procedures for ease of closing businesses. But then, if you see some of the 3-4 parameters on ease of starting businesses, we have not improved much.
Correct, yeah. So that's just for people who have not gone through the whole index. Primarily, we have climbed on the bank of 2-3 big parameters. One, when it comes to insolvency, we've jumped from 136 to 103. One, when it comes to electricity, currently we're 26 out of 190 countries. And of course, a rather curious one, Venu, is that when it comes to paying taxes for most businesses, we've jumped from 172 out of 190 countries to 119. And what's important is that GST, India's biggest tax reform to date, was not included as part of this.
Yeah, because GST came after June.
Correct. July 1st is when GST.
Yeah, this is June to June. Yeah.
But still, we've managed to jump a good 60 positions when it comes to paying taxes.
Yeah. To me, this is a bit puzzling. This has happened possibly because the government has, the finance ministry has maybe made easy electronic filing of tax returns. Now, mind you, this period that we are looking at, June 2016 to June 2017, also saw one of the longest running income declaration schemes, which also coincided with demonetization. So maybe that is one reason why it made it made it easy for people to pay taxes and declare the black money and be done with it. Now, but in qualitative terms, I can tell you, in the last 1 year, we also saw, for the period that you're talking about, we saw the government, the tax department, arming itself with draconian powers to raid anybody, any business, anybody's house, and then ask questions. You just raid people and then tell them reasons why they have been raided. Before that, there were several checks and balances. You had to go and get a permission from a higher income tax authority, appellate authority, even a magistrate. All those things have been done away with, and the income tax authorities have also, the way they are going after people who have deposited money post demonetization. There is a certain fear of the taxman and the draconian powers that they are armed with. Sure. So, in qualitative terms, I think the story is different, and I'm sure businesses also have a different view.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I just wanted to loop back to your demonetization point. So, I mean, the crucial takeaway that people have to understand from this World Bank rankings is that it doesn't do very well when it comes to measuring the informal economy, small and medium.
Plus, businesses. It only measures Delhi and Bombay.
Correct.
If you go to other cities in the country, other state capitals, you will find that it takes 150 days, 200 days to start a business.
That's correct. Yeah.
Whereas in Delhi and Bombay, it is much below 100 days to start a business. So, Delhi and Bombay, they really skew the overall picture.
Correct. Exactly. And I mean,
so, these are some of the flaws in the World Bank methodology.
Itself by itself. And, for instance, demonetization, it affected these two, the formal economy, informal economy, separately, very different ways perhaps. The formal economy was perhaps impacted, sales, extra manufacturing capacity, whereas for smaller firms, demonetization might have actually hampered the way they do business.
It actually hammered them. It hampered them and hammered them.
Correct, that's true.
And they're still to recover from it.
Correct, yeah. And so, I mean...
And one more point here. Now, for June 2017 to June 2018, next year when we are sitting here, what will it capture on ease of paying taxes? Look at what is happening with GST. It's a disaster in terms of implementation in these 6 months. Firms are not able to log on to portals, and the summary returns filing shows only 50% of thereabouts of the total registered GST payers are actually filed for returns, and it's really bad in terms of the ease of paying at least GST. Now, people say it takes 6 months to a year to improve. So, this will be captured. We'll probably go a little, we will slip a few notches because of the way GST is being implemented, although it's a good reform.
On paper.
It's a good reform generally, theoretically, but our implementation is what should reflect in the World Bank ease of paying taxes for next year.
Correct, yeah. And I think in today's Economic Times, several unnamed government officials have blamed Infosys for the whole GST debacle.
The bureaucracy, the government is never at fault.
Correct.
Yeah, they quickly shift blame to the rest of society.
Correct, that's true. So, but Venu, if you look at some of the other metrics of the World Bank doing system, so starting a business, as you pointed out, we're 156 out of 190 countries. Registering property on 154 out of 190.
Yeah, it's still bad. Yeah, and contract enforcement.
Correct. Yes.
We are still among the bottom 15% of the countries.
But these are some of these things are a flagship program that the Modi government would have. For instance, Startup India. But still, we're doing quite bad. Is implementation an issue? And
on Startup India, Anuj, I must remind our viewers, the tax department has come up with a ridiculous proposition, which is if private equity and venture capitalists, if they invest capital in startups and the startups show a certain projected, say, earnings or growth over 5 years, 10 years, and based on which if they receive certain premium on their equity issue or capital, and the income tax department says that if you don't achieve those earnings, they will retrospectively treat it as income and tax you on that. So this is how you encourage startup capital? I don't know.
Correct, that's true. And then, just broadly speaking, ease of doing business is it's sort of a halfway indicator, right? So if India's goals are greater foreign direct inflow investment, if it's greater jobs being created, if it's more manufacturing units coming up and so on and so forth, our jump in ease of doing business, while good, it doesn't reflect in the goals that India.
You're right. It's an input indicator.
Correct. Yeah.
Then you have to go and look at the output.
Correct.
When I say output, the proof of the pudding is in its eating. So we'll have to see how whether private investment picks up. Now, this 30 rank improvement should reflect in more production, more investment, more employment. That we have to see when that will happen.
Yeah. But on the positive side, is it sort of encouragement for government officials, or is it representative of slightly a change in mindset at all, do you think? I mean, just for really on a parting note.
I would advise government officials and even politicians that they should feel satisfied, but it's too early to celebrate.
Yeah.
You feel there's cause for satisfaction that you've done something to improve our rankings in the World Bank. Although I have serious questions about the World Bank methodology, but be that as may, since we have accepted their methodology in the past, but we have to show results on the ground.
Correct. Yes, that's true. So on that note, I think we'll wrap up today's discussion. Thank you for joining us, and please keep a lookout for the rest, for more news and analysis on our website on this issue. Thank you.